Hello, everyone. I'm Iris Douglas, and this is my co-host, Yvette O'Sullivan.
Hello, everybody. I'm so happy to be here with my friend and co-host, Iris. Yes. We've been waiting a long time to be together, and it's finally happening.
Yeah, I'm very excited. We are I and I. Our podcast, The Vital Women from Washington Heights, living in Dutchess County, is all about educating women on how to feel better. Today's topic is we're going to talk about spring.
Spring and menopause.
You're listening to The Vital Women of Washington Heights.
We also want to mention our sponsor, who is Andrew O'Grady from MHA, which is Mental Health America, Dutchess County. They have a comprehensive care, and they also have a beautiful, wonderful addiction program that you can go to and feel safe. They also have a veterans program that's very important because I love this energy that they give to the veterans. It's very important. We're here because of them. So they're located at Veterans One Stop, located at 1335 Route 44 in Pleasant Valley, New York. And they're open Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. And if you're a veteran, just stop by. It's something that's probably going to make you happy so thank you, Andrew O'Grady, again for sponsoring our podcast, The Vital Women from Washington Heights.
Before we move forward, Iris, with our podcast, it was brought to my attention that when we did the podcast regarding Independence Day in Dominican Republic, I made the mistake of saying that Independence Day is February 28th. In actuality, it's February 27th. Therefore, I apologize to our listeners for making that little mistake.
So talk to me about Santo Domingo. There's something here that you want to say that I think is very important. How I had no idea how we were like the friendliest and happiest people.
Well, yes. I am a retired social worker, and therefore I believe in statistics and data. So I always do a little research to connect our podcast to our roots, Dominican Republic.
Yes.
And in doing my research, it came up that Dominican Republic is recognized as the happiest country globally. When I saw this, I was so excited because it is so true. From the poorest person in Dominican Republic to the richest person, they are just very vibrant, energetic, and they're always willing to, at least that has been my experience. I don't know if you've had the same experience.
Same here. I went to Punta Cana a couple of years ago, and it's my country. I was born in Santo Domingo. But I tell you, I was just warm. I felt so warm and fuzzy. I mean, even the way they did my clothes, it's just the interaction with them was amazing. They were so caring and thoughtful of us. And I really appreciate the fact that you brought that to my attention because I had no idea. But it's also, my mother was at the time very, very kind and very, so I can see where I'm just surprised and I was happy. So thank you so much for bringing it up because it's important, because there's people, and let me tell you, there's people that I met that will give you the last piece of bread. And, in Washington Heights, there was so many, we grew up with so many different types of folks. There was a lot of diversity in the Heights. But the humblest person, the poorest person, if you didn't have anything, they would say, no, mira, go ahead, pati. So yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, thank you.
Because I'm a statistics person, I'm going to give our listeners the actual numbers.
Yes.
So it says here, statistics reveal a remarkable average score of 91% out of 300, ranking it among the countries with the best mental well-being ratings. So not only are they happy, but they also have the highest mental well-being rating compared to other countries globally. So I thought that was very interesting.
Well, that's very interesting because, as you know, I'm an energy worker, and vibes are my business. And when you have people who are happy and humble and kind, that's going to ooze out wherever you are, So I appreciate the fact that that's even a fact that happy people create great vibes.
Yes.
So if you go to Santo Domingo, and you come back happy, it's because you got those vibes, So yeah, I love this. Thank you.
And the sun and the beautiful palm trees help not just the people, but ambiance of the country helps a lot with your well-being.
I also want to say, I want to mention that Dominicans are very religious. They're very, not religious, spiritual people. They're more spiritual than religious. And my mother was a very spiritual woman. So I think that adds on to how they're balance their body, mind, and spirit, where they're always happy. Because in order for you to be happy, you have to have a balance with energy. So that's good stuff. Well, I was born in Santo Domingo. You were born there too, right?
I was born in Santo Domingo.
Okay, so we were born with that energy.
We were born there. Yes.
That's interesting, right?
Yes, it is.
Wow,
yes.
That's so interesting.
And not only that, but when you believe in the Creator, that's powerful, because who better than God that created
full
circle, that created the earth, created the trees, everything from the birds to the trees. And I believe we had mentioned this in one of our podcasts. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything is happening because it's supposed to happen.
Yes.
So talk to me more about how spring and menopause can affect our energy.
Well, a lot of people believe that when springtime comes around, that everything is going to go away. Their sadness, their depression, and that they're going to start to feel this burst of energy. And some people do, but there's also a certain percentage. I did not have an opportunity to look for the percentage, but there is a certain percentage of people, and not only people in general, but women, that they do not bounce back from their sadness and depression. And sometimes when you're going through menopause, it's even more difficult to be able to dig yourself out of that hole and to find that energy that everybody advertises, the warm air, the birds are singing, the flowers are going to start budding, and people think it's a rebirth. That doesn't happen all the time.
No, absolutely not, but it's supposed to. So what's happening is that I feel that, again, working energy is that when women are in menopause, they get in their heads. The way they look, the way they feel. They're not as they think. They're not as attractive. And they go through this process of shutting themselves down, and it can be very dangerous, especially when spring is here, because when it's dark and gloomy outside, it's easy to get in bed and just, get under the covers and not feel it. But when it's sunny outside, you cannot be under the covers because you cannot feel that change. So it's important that people start getting ready before spring gets here, energetically, getting the right foods and having the right moods so they can get ready for the springtime, for that activity fun time, for that beautiful sundress time, or whatever they feel that makes them feel better.
Yes, and you brought up a good point, because it's important, even if it's winter and you don't feel like moving or being productive, you start to do that in the winter. So when the spring comes around, you have that vibrant energy.
Absolutely.
Because if you wait until the last minute, it's not going to happen. It's just like, when it's winter, there's a lot happening underground. And then all of a sudden, you may look at the trees, or you may look down at the ground and you see that flower, but the buds are under there.
Yeah.
The roots are under there. So you don't neglect that during the winter. You keep taking care of yourself.
Absolutely, but it's hard for people to get that. So how do you take care of yourself? You go to yoga. You stretch, you move, you meditate, you see yourself in springtime. You listen to music, you dance, you put yourself as if it was springtime. You don't get in your head that it's gloomy. And it's hard for people to do that sometimes because it is.
And because it's winter also, you can't work out outside. So you go indoors. And where can they go indoors to get that kind of exercise? And here is where?
Yeah, Hudson Valley Holistic Healing Center. We have yoga, we have movement programs. We're trying to bring in classes for breath work and moving, because the body needs to move, especially when you get to a certain age. I'm going to be 62 next Monday, God bless. Thank God I'm still here. And you got to move, you got to stretch, and you need to find a sauna. We have a beautiful sauna. We have a beautiful Himalayan cave that you can come and reset your mindset, with meditation and breath work because it makes you feel better, sleep better at night. So take all of that, take all of that in, because those are things that people don't understand that can help. Those are the tools. Like I said, a nice stretch work, movement work. Body needs to move.
And that's an assimilation to my life in Florida during the winter, because I have the salt because of the ocean. You guys have the salt cave here. Mm-hmm. I have the sunlight, and you guys have the sauna. So it's important to give that to your body all year round.
Absolutely.
And for me, the change, I flew in a couple of days to New York, and just flying in, and I see everything brown and the bare trees, and I'm thinking, what a difference! What am I doing? Why am I going to New York? But I'm here for several reasons, right? But I feel it. Just being here for a few days, I already feel kind of like down and my energy level low. So it's important to give yourself the soul cave and the sauna, because that is going to energize your body throughout the winter.
Absolutely.
The body needs heat. Yes.
Absolutely, sis. The body needs heat. The body needs that salt. You need air. You need sun. Your body needs it. We are part of the universe. We feed off of what's happening in our world, in our universe, so we need to make sure that we're good. I love that you brought up the fact, because I didn't even realize that, girl, that we have the salt cave, which represents the ocean, which is the salt, and then we have the to detox with the heat, which is the sun. So I love that you said that. Thank you so much for bringing it out. But it's important that you feed your body right during the winter, so the spring you have that vitality. You want to go out. You want to show off. You want to do you. So
that's your food for the winter.
Yeah,
just like you eat every day.
Food for your body and mind.
You nourish your body and you nourish your stomach, but you nourish your body during the winter by attending these activities, so that way you have the energy when springtime comes.
Thank you so much, because that's like really good marketing, Rachel. That's really good marketing. Appreciate you. No, I'm just being honest. Yeah.
But also, a point that I wrote down here, bringing it back, being a little bit more serious now. Suicide rates tend to go up during the springtime. And I wondered why that happens. Like, when I read this, I was like, that's an interesting information. Let me dig a little bit more into it. And when we talked about it, you made a good point that I hadn't thought about it. And you said that's because most of the time women don't feel good about the way that they look. And it's not just women that tend to commit suicide, but also men. Because men sometimes suffer from not taking care of their bodies.
Absolutely.
And when you see people walking around, perhaps looking a little more fit than you, that also affects. It triggers traumas within you about the way you look, because you want to look a certain way, and you haven't achieved that look. You see other people, then you feel bad about yourself. Then you feel, or you're jealous, and that's a negative, and that's all negative energy. And we don't need that. We don't want that, because the more negativity you hold in your body, the more weight you're gonna hold, and the more tired you're gonna be. If you release all this negative energy and all these negative emotions, trust me when I tell you, you're gonna feel better about yourself. You're gonna see the sun. You feel sunshine within you. Your hair, your body, your eyes are shiny. It's better to feel better than not to feel better. So I love that we're talking about this. This is very important, especially now. The trees are budding, everything is coming out. You're changing. You are changing it up. Go for a nice, cute little haircut. Change your clothes up. Look at different wear, a different style you want to wear. Just reinvent yourself during spring. Yes.
Right?
Reinvent
yourself during spring. See yourself as doing that. Instead of saying, oh my God, I don't like what I... No, mama. No, papa. No. Just reinvent yourself. See yourself as looking how you want to look. Because remember, you are the creator of your own story.
And play around with your clothes too, because the way that you pair up, your clothes can also create an illusion that perhaps you're a little bit more fit while you're working on your fitness.
Learn how to work it, yeah.
While you're working, on your fitness, you learn to work your body, you learn to work the tools that you have.
Absolutely. So, check it out. When I was younger, I used to buy stuff that was small on me because I wanted to get that done. No. Buy the right size because you're going to look good wearing the right size clothes. Mm-hmm. Listen, I went to an all-girls school and I saw some craziness. We would wear like clothes that we thought, no, and then it wouldn't look good on us.
I'm going to share a little secret that nobody knows. We both went to all-girls schools in high school, but we went to our rival schools.
That's another thing.
We went to rival schools. I went to Mabel Bacon, and you went to
Washington Area High School. And we were in rival schools. We didn't even know. And we lived in the Heights. And we met in Dutchess County.
Yes.
That's crazy. But yes.
And the fights on the subway between Washington Irving and Mabel Bacon was ridiculous.
I don't even know why.
I always used to stay away from that scenery, but every day.
It was back in the 70s, guys.
80s.
Well, the 80s.
The 80s.
Well, towards, yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
towards the 80s.
Towards, yes. But yeah, isn't that a coincidence? Yeah. So let me say this. We are women that we're elders now, and we're still keeping up our vitality. How do you keep yourself looking so beautiful and glowing? No, because you look good. You're just your whole way of standing and the way. How do you do it? Because
first of all,
learn that.
Yoga helps with your posture. When you're doing your tree stand on one leg and you're trying to hold that pose, you're working on your posture. You're working on your
back. That's
your
an
back, your abdomen area.
Yeah.
So that helps with my posture. I eat healthy. I've been exposed to the sun and the salt for the last 4 years. Because for the last 4 years, I live in Florida during the winter, and also I read the Bible. I read the Bible. I'm a follower of Jesus, and every morning. This morning, I was up at 6 in the morning. I was reading the Bible, and then after that, I gave myself an hour of exercising before I helped my mother, with her needs, because that's the reason I'm here, to care for my mother this week. And it's everything that we spoke about before. Yeah. So that brings balance.
Mind, body, and spirit. Reading the Bible
is
spirit. It's a spiritual thing. Taking care of your hair, your skin, eating the right foods, going for your walks and stuff is taking care of your body.
And I take collagen. Talking about my hair and my nails, I take collagen every morning because that is part of your menopause practice. And because I'm a menopause coach, I take collagen every morning with my tea, and that keeps me,
keeps you going. You're beautiful. The skin type and everything like that. Women, trust me, collagen works.
Collagen works. I drink
mucha agua, right?
A lot of water. Agua ayuda mucho.
Yes, mucha agua. So those are other tips that we encourage you to do. Change your lifestyle. Change the way you do things. Live more holistically, Go for walks. Look at yourself. What do you want to change about yourself? And you can do it. You don't have to be in your head, oh my God, look at me. No. You can be whoever you want to be and look anywhere you want.
Changes. Because, we're Dominican, and I grew up eating rice and beans and meat every day. And I would love to eat that way every single day because it tastes phenomenal. But as I've gotten older, I can't be eating rice and beans every day and meat. So I eat more vegetables. And once in a while, yes, I'll have my rice and beans and the meat. I'm not very much a meat eater. I prefer more of my veggies and fish and chicken. But it all helps.
Yep. Well, food creates, you eat.
Yes.
It's what you eat.
But I made a conscious decision how to implement that in my daily life, taking care of what I put into my body so that way I can have energy. Because when you eat a lot of carbs it gives you quick energy, but then you have this quick crash that I found happening to me actually 4 years ago when I entered menopause. And I was like feeling so exhausted and not knowing what was happening. So that is part of the symptoms and the process, that all of a sudden you may have energy, but then you're feeling completely tired.
Yeah. So I want to share some of my menopausal experiences, and that's why, and this is the reason why I got into Reiki. I was feeling mentally disturbed. I was feeling confused, and I was not understanding what was going on. And I was forgetting things and things like that. I was like, no, something's got to give. And that's when I reset my mindset. So that's also important, ladies, that if you're feeling, confused or something like that, there we go. Look into it and look into how can you change that up, and we'll do our due diligence to give you more information on how to take better care of yourself during this time, because spring is beautiful, but sometimes it's not that kind to people who are not feeling it. So they think it's not kind. So I want to talk more about that, on how to reset your mindset through menopause, because that's important.
We can do that through our articles, through the something
I would like that opportunity to let's do that, and look out for that Southern Duchess News article, because Yvette and I, we really, really, really want to help people like us. That we have known the challenges through menopause, and we can help you through our experiences. We can share our experiences, and hopefully you can resonate with them. But I think it's important what you said about how you have a ritual when you wake up in the morning. It's very important. First thing you must do is just be grateful. Have a gratitude. Read the Bible, or just yoga pose, or an asana, whatever.
Practice silence, whatever.
Practice silence.
Practice silence and gratitude.
Practice silence and gratitude. And I think that once you start practicing silence and gratitude, you'll see that your mindset changes, and you'll see things with more clarity. Sometimes when we reset our mindset, we see things differently, and that's what we need to, we would love for you to start doing, because you're beautiful. No matter how you look, you are beautiful.
You're investing in yourself. I'm investing in myself. If we don't take care, and we have talked about this in the past, if we don't take care of our bodies, nobody's going to do it for us. So, again, women and mothers have a lot of responsibility. Even if you have 5 minutes in the morning before getting up and following through whatever responsibilities you may have, practice that silence. Practice being grateful.
Love that, yeah.
And then figure out how you can add more and more to it.
Right.
So maybe, even if you do a minute of stretching also helps within those 5 minutes.
Honey, I fly in the mornings, because there's so much that my body holds. I cannot. So yes. Silence and movement. After you silence, get that energy, vitality in, and then start moving. Listen to a beautiful affirmation. Listen to beautiful music. Listen to something beautiful. Don't listen to the news when you're going to work. Don't listen to all the stressors, because that's going to create triggers in you and stressors, and you don't want that. Guess what? Because that's going to bring you back to zero on how to feel that you're not feeling yourself. So you got to start moving forward and living a lifestyle that you feel good about.
Figure out how to heal yourself. Figure out how to heal yourself.
Self-realization.
Yes.
Yoginanda, I don't know, this is me practicing. One of my gurus is Yoginanda. And he says you have to self-realize how you can heal yourself. When you get cut, and then within 2 weeks, it's done. You don't think you could do that within your body? Yes, you can. Trust me. I've been practicing Reiki for 12 years now, and trust me, you can self-heal yourself. So start self-healing yourself. Change up your routines, change up your mindset, and see, you'll be better. I promise you, you'll see.
Absolutely. Yeah. Last night Oprah had, it came on at 10 o'clock at night, so I wasn't up for that. But she had a show, and I believe one of the panelists on the show was very...
Halle
Berry, yes.
Yes.
But I did not have an opportunity to see it. I'm going to look for it tonight and see if I can find it either through Hulu or some other streaming channel, because I know that they were going to talk about menopause specifically, and even though that Oprah is over her menopause stage, and she's probably going through post-menopause, but there were a lot of people on that panel. I believe it's like a panel of 5 women, and they were going to talk about their experience, what they've gone through, their struggles, and how they have healed, and how they're coming back from that whole experience.
Well, Halle Berry's got something going on, because I saw her a couple of months ago also in the Today Show. She's got, I don't know what it is, and I don't want to misquote it, but she's got some organization going on how to heal menopause, like flare-ups and the way you feel and the way you think and all of that. So she's definitely having the right conversations.
Well, and it's taking control of your body and not allowing somebody else to have control of your body. It's doing the research, trying different things, even if you're scared. Say, hey, perhaps today I'm going to take a walk and go to the Hudson Valley Healing Center and try a yoga class, or try the soul cave, and figure out whether you like it or not. Because if you don't try certain things, then how are you going to know if it works or not?
But Evie, you know what it is? It's a lot of fear. It's a lot of fear. People coming into a wellness center can be so challenging, so private. You know, a lot of people don't want to admit that they need healing too, you know? So it's so...
But everything that happens here is confidential.
No, absolutely. So, but it's not even that, sweetheart. It's just them opening the door to come into a wellness center.
That confidence. They need that confidence.
No, not even that, my love. Sometimes, okay, how can I say this? Sometimes people want to be stuck in a rut and they don't want to heal. Sometimes coming into a wellness center can be a challenge in itself. They'd rather feel the way they feel because they're so familiar with that feeling. What if they feel something else they don't know and that's confusing to them?
You know, that's a good point. And when I practiced social work, I saw a lot of that with my clients. And I had clients that I worked with for years, and they made very little progress. And it's because that's what they knew. They knew that feeling of sitting in their sadness or not making progress. And it was so difficult for them to work on their issues, work on themselves, because that provided a lot of fear. So that's a very interesting point.
I'm sharing only because I have some clients. I have some clients that come in for a consultation, and they ask and they want, but they don't come back because they're afraid. And some do come back, and then we start working together, because people, they don't know what they're going to feel because they never felt it. So it might be confusing and it's scary. So listen, if you're ready to heal, just say a prayer, meditate on, and then find a person or an organization or the wellness center that feels good to you. You know, that's important too. Maybe yoga, meditation, it's okay, but something is going to make you feel better if you reset your mind. But if you stay stuck, you're not going to, if you can move, you can't move onward. So when spring comes along and everything is growing, you need to grow too. You can't be stuck in the mud.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
Right, that's what we're talking about.
And it's also difficult for the practitioner, meaning, you know, a social worker or a healer like yourself, to work with a client and not see any changes. I know it was for me. It was very difficult for me to deal with the fact that I'm working with this person a year, I'm working with this person 2 years, and they've made very little progress. And I would break down their goals to tiny little steps. And sometimes it was very difficult for them to even take that opportunity to accomplish those goals so we can check it off on the list. So that's why now I say, break it down even more. You can't do 5 minutes, do 1 minute. Yeah. 1 minute goes like this.
Absolutely. And you're going to feel the difference. Listen, guys, even if you don't show up at a wellness center, breathe. Take those deep breaths in, and trust me when I tell you, those bodies, those cells are going to move, and they're going to change your life. Or if that's the only thing you do.
And we all breathe. We all need to breathe every day, every second.
The way you breathe is very intentional. Is the way you reset your mindset and you reset your body. I'm 60. I'm going to be 61, and I'm telling you, ever since I learned how to breathe, I feel better. I practice Kundalini yoga, by the way. I'll be teaching some movements and some breath work, and I'm excited to do that because when you practice Kundalini, you have more fluidity. you move better, you feel better. Even if you're 60, I was dancing salsa the other day.
Yes, she was.
She was there.
So,
with that said, even if you start breathing, you're going to feel it back, relax, shoulders back, and take that deep breath in, and trust me, just reset your body, and you feel better.
It makes a difference, even with your digestion system, because when you're breathing
Absolutely.
and you're moving your diaphragm, and
you lose weight.
You lose weight.
I have clients. All I said, breathe. And she's like, look. I said, I told you, just breathe. They lose weight, their waist, their belly goes down. Very intentional, even if it's for 10 minutes.
Because you're pushing out the toxins in your body.
You're getting rid of the stuff. Just like breath work, you're taking in the good stuff and you're releasing the old stuff. And that's what we need to do. It is different.
Yes,
I feel it.
Absolutely.
I feel it. Thank you.
So I think we're coming to a conclusion of our podcast. We spoke about diet and how you feel. And let's talk a little bit about if they have like a loved one. And I brought up that point. If you have somebody that you see that is struggling, a loved one, how can you help them?
How can you help a loved one? Just by listening to them and just telling them, I am here to listen. And once you listen, then you, the person, the listener, will help, then you can better help them. Because sometimes we think that we can help people just by showing up. No, sometimes that's not a good thing. Just, are you okay? I'm here if you need me. Whenever you're ready, you need me. But if you know someone is interested in perhaps starting something, give them a yoga class. Give them a sauna. Give them a Reiki experience. Give them something like that, because that would be a good start. Give them a good, they all go together. Even if you, crystals, a little rose quartz to open up the heart chakra. A nice little, turquoise to open up the throat chakra if you have someone who's in communication. Just be mindful of the person that you're with, your loved one, to see what they need. Like, for instance, my husband, I know what he needs. So a little tiger eye, give him a little Reiki. Just be mindful of your loved ones, especially the springtime, because that's right. That's a very good point, because sometimes we're so busy in what we're doing that we miss it, especially with children. Children are not going to tell you if they're depressed. And children are not going to tell you sometimes if they're upset. They're going to be in their head on why they're upset and why they're depressed. Mamas, look out for that.
But children demonstrate whatever is going on through their behavior.
Exactly.
Whether it is anger, whether it is sadness that they shut down. But most of the time, children do not show sadness so much. It's more like that anger comes out. And they may destroy things because they don't have the verbalization to say or to pinpoint how angry they're feeling.
We're going to have an episode about that.
Absolutely.
Because I want to make sure that when we talk about kids, because I have 2 grandkids and I have a granddaughter, and I've worked with a lot of children. My mom used to take care of kids. I really want us to really do our research and talk about kids and energy and how moms really need to look out for certain things. I want to mention something personal. My mom, there's 4 of us. I was the oldest, and I have a brother named Hussein. And I used to say to her, I'm going to say it in Spanish, ¿por qué tú lo tratas así, Like, why do you treat him like that? And I said, because she used to say, because he's a different way. I have to talk to him a different way. I promise you, she said this, his energy is different from yours. I'm 62 years old. My mom was talking energy when I was a kid. So there's something that's cycling it up. Something cycling it up. And you and I had numerous conversations about parents, and we have similar conversations about, how they were so similar, our moms. So, something's happened in our universe. So I want to make sure that when we talk about kids, we talk about them right. We have everything we need.
Absolutely, and that's how I started my career. Throughout my career as a social worker, I've done full circle. I started out with preschool children.
I love that.
Then I moved on to junior high school, then high school, and I ended my career at the college level. And with all these stages of what we call child development, I saw the anger. and I saw the sadness.
It's
So
important
it's
to
very
talk about that.
important that if you have a loved one, to be mindful
Yes.
and to know what to look for.
Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I can't wait to talk about the kids. I love kids.
And you have a beautiful area here. You have a beautiful room.
Yeah,
for
let's talk about the
children.
kids.
Yes.
Birthday parties. Ariana's going to be doing wonderful storytelling in the cave and just like fun time and playtime, you know.
That's perfect. When my book comes out, Ariana can read
Yes.
it because my book is a children's book. And it's about my
Mira,
dog,
Tati.
the Border Collie. My dog, Mac, the Border Collie,
It's
who
really
is
cute.
a disc champion. And you guys can...
I didn't even know he was all that.
Yes,
He's
he's
cute.
all of that. He's a professional athlete, my boy.
I love him. And he's got poodles after him. I love the poodles that are after him.
Oh, yes. He
Yes.
has 3 female poodles in Florida that when they see him coming, they get very excited about my Border Collie.
And the reason I know that is because we were on the phone and she was walking. I said, "Why did all this come up?" She says, "Oh, his little, you know,
His little poodle
the
pups.
little chicks." That was funny. I like that we added that on. That was funny about your dog. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So let's go back to MHA because it goes right back full circle to mental health, awareness. So let's go back to MHA on how Andrew O'Grady is our sponsor for this episode and all of our episodes, and we really appreciate this opportunity working with them. So please, stop by, look at their website because they have really interesting things and they want to help the community. That's what they're here for. And I hope he doesn't mind me quoting him, but he was so good. I heard him on the radio the other day, and he says something super important, guys. He says, there's no help without mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And he's absolutely right. If you're not good here, you're not going to be good here. Mm-hmm. So I appreciate you, Andrew. Thank you so much for that, because that is so relevant.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Andrew.
Yes.
Make sure you listen to the Vital Women of Washington.
Yes.
Stay tuned.
We love you. Stay tuned for next time. Bye-bye.